Need anything else?
No, we good, right? I'm good right now.
Okay.
Hey, Reggie. Hey, I'm gonna say. You know what? I saved that seat, the last seat for him because he'd be the last one coming to the door.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave right there because
Do you?
I got your little cold water cookie.
I appreciate you. Oh, Lord.
Randy probably come in. Tony asked me where he was. I said, that's a good question. Something 9:45.
Yeah, he'll be late. I mean, well, he gonna be on time.
How you think he gonna be on time?
Cause he gonna be on his time. He'll always be on his time. He's not gonna do right.
They should have told him, they should have said, what, 9:45? Should have said something like that.
Well, he know that Tony. What I dropped? Okay, I'm sorry.
What time did they do?
I got you.
You ain't too far behind that time that they do either.
Yeah.
They run all the kind of crazy time out.
Yeah, he know he was gonna preach till right up to 9:45. He preached all the way up to the minute. I told you to come on in.
Like the grand entrance. Is that him you said?
No, it ain't him. I see Mikey and Andrea, little Mike. Ooh, Jesus, man.
You see her?
Yeah, I just be warm. Hey, Michelle. Oh Lord, see they gonna have all these folk up in here. Hey, y'all better make sure y'all pass the plate. Y'all got all these folk up in here today. Tell them, hey, y'all came, put something in. Oh, Jesus.
You ain't gonna act right.
But I'm gonna try though. I'll click it in a minute.
So where did Jack go?
I don't know. I saw, there she is right there.
What about?
Right over here.
There,
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. He beat you to the Rachel should be here. She says she's trying to make it. Okay, so. It's Dee Dee.
I try to find me a little jacket
Hey,
like
Buddy
this.
Bud, how you doing?
I couldn't find one. Man, pin on the way up there. That's what it is. Pin them too close.
Here come little Mike and Andrea.
Lord. Yeah, they come. I'm shocked they here now, but
You want to take us out on the song?
no, we ain't gonna have time.
Okay.
I mean, I was trying to get there, but I may stay for first service. I don't
No, I'm
know.
saying at the end of this.
I know, but we're not gonna have time to warm it up. I don't know. Let me see. How long we got? An hour? Y'all gonna talk 15, 20, 30? How long you gonna talk?
Huh?
How long you gonna talk? You gonna talk about half hour? I mean, who's gone? Breathe, y'all let you go. Hey, I'm gonna let you preach.
No, don't do me no favor. Don't do me no favor. No.
Randy?
Are you getting ready to start right now, baby? Oh, well, I can't even get the stuff. Okay, fine. All right. Woo. You gotta go over there, Ron. You hit. You on.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, how you doing? Okay, good.
Bless you. Hey, man, don't be mad if I don't address you as pastor, man. Because, get over it. Bishop. Oh. You know you ain't getting that. You know you ain't getting that. You doing good to get Randy, because I got some things.
You got some other names.
I got some other things for you.
The lady over there giving signals.
Oh, well, she trying to get them to sit down. She said she's been waving excuse me for a minute. Hold on, let's say your way.
Yes, it ain't for me.
Check it. Check that screw on the bottom. See if it. I don't know what it is. What you got? What you got in your thing? You wanna talk about it? You ain't gonna let me know.
Look, you don't know.
I know. I don't know.
I don't want to know.
Sunday school.
Yeah, this is their Sunday school hour. So, okay, it's a good thing. They might need it. Oh, Lordy. Man, my phone is vibrating. Good thing I turned it off.
Thank you.
I put it on vibrate.
All right. Well, praise the Lord, everybody. Hallelujah. The Bible says that this is the day that the Lord has made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. We want to welcome you to this portion of our stream. For those of you that are out there in our electronic audience, this is a special day for us. We have been teaching on family and family dynamics from a biblical perspective. And today I am pleased to have with me portions of my family. The circumstances are not the most joyous in a sense, but in another sense they can be perceived as joyful if you believe what the Bible has to say. And so I have with me this morning, of course, you know I'm Charles Shepard, and I have with me the Charles Shepard that was responsible for me being Charles Shepard. That's Charles E. Shepard. I have my brother Michael Reginald Shepard, and also Randall Morrison Shepard. If you notice, we all have the same last names. Yeah, that meant Mom and Dad decided to stay together, and so we're glad about that. But today we wanted to do something as a special tribute at the recording of this. We are preparing to celebrate my mother's life, and we just want to share about some of the family and some of the family dynamics. Everybody up here, our emotions are still somewhat raw, so if any of us get up and leave, hopefully you'll understand, and we may leave whether you understand or not. But anyway, we just want to take some time to pay tribute and to celebrate. You know, in the Bible, it says that Esau and Isaac, no, I'm sorry, it's not Isaac, it's Jacob and Esau came together at their father's death, and also Isaac and Ishmael came together at their father's death. So, you know, death can either bring people together or it can separate folk, because there's a whole lot of emotions. And just because you are part of the body of Christ does not mean that you are immune from sorrow, does not mean that you are immune from some of the other things that might happen in life. And so we just wanted to talk and to share a little bit. And I thought it was befitting that we would be here, because believe it or not, I know at least back in the late 50s, my mother, Barbara Shepard, was the pianist for this church.
She was.
And I always teased with her, and I said, Mom, you know, now I'm pastoring that church that you played for, and I see no reason why you shouldn't be playing now. And but you know, she decided that she wanted to support her baby.
She paid for you?
She sang for you.
You know,
Better choices.
because they're special. But anyway, I've asked them to share, and I'm asking my dad to share with you first of all how they met, and then we'll move on to some of the brightest and some of the most celebratory events in their lives. like the birth of their first child.
Praise the Lord, everybody.
That's why
This is
they kept trying.
I would say a blessed time that we can come together. Most time funerals, as he said, they would bring you closer together or they would divide you more. But I can say this and say it truly and unadulterated, anything else to go with it. This family has been together like we are now. The death did not bring us any closer. It just tightened us up a little bit because we've been a close family from the very offset. We were brought up like that. Our family had been brought up to be close. When one of us hurt, we might not agree, but we all hurt. And we always felt that way toward one another. And it's another thing that I would like to reiterate, just to say is that whenever person became a member of this family, they were always a member of this family. There is no such thing as an in-law in our family. Once you became a shepherd, you was a shepherd. And we always cherish that. I'm honored to have my sons here, Charles, Michael, Brandon, and he was talking about how the family came about. Let me tell you this and I'm gonna stop. It happened at Miss Addie Fuquay when this church was up on 31st and Raider. She had me to sing a song. I was singing in the young adult choir. At that time, Barbara was the pianist for the young adults. And I used to pick at her all the time, but she never would say anything. So she said, well, she's gonna have to teach you this song. And the song that she taught me was There's a Brighter Day Ahead. That was the first song. So as she began to rehearse me, I said, do you know the song? She said, I know it. She said, but you're gonna have to listen to me. So each time she would rehearse, I would stop and I would listen. In the next rehearsal, I would get a little bit closer. The next rehearsal, I would get even a little bit closer. So she put the music on the piano. And when she put the music on the piano, I act like I could read it, which I couldn't read music. Wasn't trying to read no music. And one day she turned around, she was playing, and she turned like this, and when she turned, I was right up in her face. So I kissed Barbara. She said, that shouldn't have never happened. I said, well, I'll tell you what, you want me to tell Miss Fuquay you don't want to rehearse me no more? She said, no, I don't think so. So that was how it began. So we began to do A Brighter Day Ahead. The Brighter Day Ahead led up to A Brighter Day Ahead. And it was a brighter day. And I think that was in somewhere like in June of '59. And we didn't wait very long, because in December of '59, I think somewhere in between June and December, I asked her, would she marry me? No, I didn't ask her, no. I told her, I said, I think I might marry you. So I was sitting on her porch. I asked her, I said, where do you live? She said, in Hallville. I said, where is Hallville? I've never heard of no Hallville, but I didn't know it was right across Persian. I was living at 1922 Harding. I said, I've never heard of Hallville. She said, oh, it's out across 10th Street. I said, 10th Street, where is that? I said, she says in Hallville. And I said, well, okay. I said, how do I get there? She said, you don't need to know. At first she told me you didn't need to know. And I used to call her. She would never respond to my calls. So one day I said, I'm just gonna see if I can call this girl. I was on my way to the drive-in. So I called one day and I said, hey, Barbara. She said, yes. I said, I'll be by your house in a minute. She said, okay. I could have fell over dead. I said, oh. She said, okay. Because she had been telling me no, 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 no. So I told Jack, sister had a mother. I said, hey, Joe, guess what? Barbara New told me I could come by her house. She said, well, you better go ahead on, boy. I said, so I goes by, and I said, Barbara, I said, did you understand I called you and asked you, could I come by? She said, yeah. She said, I said, well, I was looking at her, I said, now what? She said, well, what you come by for? I said, I'll tell you what, let's go to drive-in. She said, well, I got to go ask my mother. I thought, 18 years old, you got to ask your mother? I said, okay, I'll do that. I can go along with that because I'm so shocked. But that is how it all began. And from that day to the time that I asked her to marry, that we got married in December 6, 1959. A year later, Our first child was born, which was Charles Anthony. And
Now he did say that a brighter day ahead, right? And I always told Mom, I said, Mom, you remember when I was born? Because I was his birthday present. I was just 2 days late of his birthday.
early.
Yeah, I was early. I've always tried to be early. That's what Daddy always taught us: try to be early, right? So I told Mama, I said, Mama, don't you remember that day that somebody said, "Blessed art thou among women, blessed is the fruit of thy womb."
Jesus.
No, yeah, Jesus.
Please. Yes.
But
Somebody straighten
so
him out before he gets started.
so what that means is that what year did y'all meet?
we met in 59, got married in 59.
So they met in 59, got married in 59. So I've only been with them a year less. So I know them longer than any of these guys, except for him.
Well, then later on, before he interrupted me,
Yeah.
later on, I had just got out of the Marine Corps, and they were getting ready to send guys back to the service that didn't have, if you didn't have a family, or if you didn't have more than one child, you were eligible to get called back. So I said, boy, I don't want to go back in the Marine Corps and leave this woman here with one child. I said, because I might be gone a long time. So Barbara's grandmother, who was Miss Elizabeth, knew. She said, well, Charles? She always called me Charlie Willie. She said, Charlie Willie? She said, look like you're going to have to be going back to service. I said, they said if you had 2 children, you wouldn't have to go back. She said, you ain't got but one. I told Barbara, I said, Barbara, I don't want to go back. I said, we ought to get another child.
There you go.
That's it.
Now we talking.
So-
now he's getting y'all there. Okay. I'm sorry.
After that, Micah was in the makings, on the scene. So Barbara's grandmother said, Charlie Willie, is you and Barbara getting ready to have another child? I said, well, the president said he'd get ready to mobilize. I thought I'd help him to mobilize. I'm going to mobilize too, folks. I have to go back. So that went on. And so Micah came along. So it was Tony and Reggie for a bunch of years. And then all of a sudden, I don't know,
We didn't
we
understand.
moved on Udale. Well, we moved off of Harding down to 1814 Harding, next to Bishop Watts and Sister Watts. And then we moved from there off on Udale. And later on, she said, Charles, she said, do you know we're about to have a third son? I said, yeah. I said, but the next son, I said, the next child, I said, you always wanted a girl. I said, next child would maybe be a girl. She said, well, I'm with that. I said, I'll tell you what, after this last child, we ain't having no more. I said, we're gonna call him No More. So when Randy first was born, we used to call him Moldy Baby. And the reason we call him Moldy Baby, we mean that we ain't having no more. So this is how my 3 sons appeared on the scene, which I'm very proud of. And the strange thing, well, not the strange thing, the weird thing about it, well, I couldn't say weird either. I had brought her Hammond organ, and every day that I'd come home, because she was a musician, every day I'd come home, Tony would be on the organ banging. I said, Barbara, do they have to keep up all this noise every day? And then the next thing I know, Reggie was there. Reggie had a guitar, Randy had drums. And it was just beside how everything flipped around. So Tony stopped doing the organ for a while, started blowing the horn. The next thing I know, he and Reggie was the first 2 horns. It was at Grace Church that they had in the youth over there. And one day I came home, Hubert Randy on the piano. I thought, here we go again. I thought these drums was gonna do it. I said, Barbara, I said, I think I made a mistake. She said, what? I said, all these boys got all this noise. And I said, I can't deal with this noise and be out there in the factory too. She said, oh, you'll get used to it. Anything that came to her boys, she was there to defend. And as quiet as my wife, you have seen and quiet as she was, when it came down to these boys, she would stand up like a real soldier. I never will forget the first car Randy got ready to get. I had told her, I said, Barbara, I am not going out here fooling around with no car, co-signing for nobody for no car. I said, I ain't co-signing for me. I said, so I'm not gonna co-sign. She said, well, the man don't want you to co-sign, he just wanna talk to you. I said, well, let him talk to you. I said, I don't wanna talk to him. So every day I noticed Randy would get to his mother, they'd come to the door. He'd come, hey, Daddy. I thought, what do you want now? Next thing I know, Barbara said, Charles, the man called again. I said, Barbara, didn't I tell you that I wasn't going out there? So the next day I came in, she wouldn't talk to me. I said, how you doing? She wouldn't talk to me. I said, whoa, I guess I better go on out here because this woman here getting ready to divorce me over this boy's car, not getting the car. So I finally went out there and got him a car. So I told Randy, I said, Randy, I want you to understand something. The first time that man called me and tell me you didn't make a car paper, you ain't gonna have no car. I said, I don't like the car in the first place. I said, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it because your mama's gonna drive me crazy if I don't go out there. So as soon as we went and got this car, I don't know where the place was, out on Films and Pike somewhere. Randy come home with that car and I thought, that junk, I hate it. But finally, it happened, he got the car. And like I told her, and like I told him, I said, I mean what I say what I mean. And I thought, I hope you mean what you say. I said, but like I told him, if he miss a car paper, he won't have no car. So oddly enough, the man called me and said, Mr. Shepherd, we haven't seen you in this month. I said, who are you? I had forgot about it. I said, who are you? He said, I'm such and such a person from this bank. I said, I've never been in your bank, don't know you, don't want to know you, and I ain't gonna come to your bank. He said, do you know Randall Shepherd? I said, oh my God. I said, I'll be out there. So at that time, Randy was working at the Julia Carson, somebody downtown. And I told Barbara, I said, I told that boy, if he didn't pay the people, he would be sorry. Randy was getting off the elevator with his check, him and some other guy coming off looking at the check. When he walked off the elevator, I snatched the check out of his hand. He said, I said, I told you. But Randy said, Daddy, I'm gonna go pay him. I said, no, you don't have to. I got it now. But you know what? That was the last time he ever missed a payment, because I had to let him know. I mean what I said, and I said what I mean. And one thing we had established as a family, Barbara and I, that I would never go against what she said for the boys, nor would she go against me for what she would say or I would say. Reg and Tony got their head together one day, decided they wanted the moped. But they didn't talk to me about it first, they talked to Barbara about it. So they talked to Barbara, Barbara told them no, because she didn't like the moped, she thought it was too fast for them. So when they came to me, I didn't know they had talked to the mother about it. When they came to me, they said, Daddy, what do you think about getting a moped? I said, I don't care, if that's what you want. I said, well, what did your mother say? First, they didn't say anything. They both, they were like two thieves. They wouldn't say anything. So they come back again, they said, what do you think? I said, well, I don't care. So Barbara said, I said, Barbara, what do you think about the boys getting a moped? She said, I told them that they couldn't have one. I said, well, they told me that they wanted a moped. I said, Barbara, what's wrong with it? She said, Charles, did you tell me once that we would never go against each other? I said, I did. She said, well, I said no. So when they come back again, they said, Daddy, are we gonna get a moped? I said, didn't your mother tell you no? I said, well, what you come to me for then? That settled that. And we never had the problem of them trying to, they were good at switching sides, and I would go along with it if they got to me first. But if she said no, that was it. And Barbara was the type of person, she didn't do much talking, but her eyes, I could read her eyes and tell whatever she was thinking or what she didn't like or not like. I think Jacqueline, I call her Jack. I was sitting on her mother's porch one day. Barbara was kind of irritated. I told Jack, I said, look at her. I said, she's mad. I said, when she get up on this porch, she ready to cut loose. So Jack sit there with me, and Jack was sitting there. And as soon as Barbara hit the porch, I said, Barbara, don't start. I said, Jack started laughing. She said, how did you know that? I said, because I know Barbara. But she was ready to cut loose because I saw the way she was walking, the way she was swinging her left arm, her left hand, and I can look at her eyes. And I knew then it was off. I was off and she was right, so I just let it go. But that's pretty much, family to me has always been very, very important. My family have proven to me over these past few weeks, months, or a year, I say, or even longer, that they were there even when I didn't know they were gonna be there. I didn't have to get them together, they got together. And it just made things much easier for me. So it let me feel, it made me think that the seed that we try to plant in them, it came up and I could see the fruit of it. I am still proud of my family, even in the time that we're going through now. It's not the worst of time, it's not a good time. The hardest time for me is when I'm more or less by myself or in the wee hours of the night. But other than that, longest family around, I'm real good. I'm good about it. My little great grandson, little Mike, I'm gonna say this and I'm through. But little Mike was he was so instrumental. Whenever he come, Andrew would never let me know when she was coming. She always tried to surprise me. I said, Andrew, stop surprising me. You're gonna give me a heart attack. And she said, okay, Poppy. Every time I look up, here come Mike and little Andrew and Big Mike. I said, why do y'all keep on surprising me like I said, Andrew, don't surprise me. So she wouldn't surprise me no more. She just wouldn't answer the phone when I called her. And then I knew she was in town. But when little Mike would come, Barbara loved chocolate. And little Mike was keeping Barbara full of water. She didn't like to drink water. Little Mike would come and pick up the bag and say, Granny, you ain't get no more candy until you drink this water. If you ain't drink no water, you ain't get no more candy. Barbara looked at him and said, can he do that? I said, yeah, he just did. She said, well, he's my daddy. I said, well, he is today. The family has all, from the youngest to the oldest, have been just outstanding. And I can't say enough about it. I love and remember the family. They keep me going, and they have been keeping me going, keeping me up. There are times that I know that it can't be like this always, but it's like I heard him say outside, it was the Lord that said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. And I know that the time will come. They got to go to their respective home, and the caretakers, the people that was taking care of Barbara said, I've never seen a family like your family before in my life. They said they heard about it. In the process, I had to go to have surgery myself. I think about a month ago. It was about a month ago, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So Reggie just happened to be here. God had this thing so planned that I wasn't even aware, but I wasn't aware that I was in the shape that I was in because I was busy taking care of her. But this one night, I got up, I said, Reggie, I got to go to the hospital, man. I said, it's too much blood coming here. Reggie said, well, who's gonna be here with Barbara? I called Rachel. I said, Rachel, you got to get here. Rachel was there. She said, okay, Papa, I'm on the way. And she has been there. Her and Andrew has been like a guardian angel. Whenever I needed Rachel, I don't care what time of night it was, she was there. Andrew was in Kentucky. If she got the news, that girl got a message around to everybody. And when I found out that I had to go to the hospital, my first indication was, I can't worry about me. I said, what is wrong? Who's gonna be here with Barbara? When I got back home, Andrew said, don't worry about it, Poppy. She said, me and Rachel got this. When I got back, they had it. And when I came back home the next time, I had to go back to the hospital. Laura was here. Laura took the reins and she went on and did what she had to do. And I thought, well, I can go do what I have to do. They take care of the house. I don't have to worry about it. But they took care of her through the entire thing. And I can't say enough of family that people say it like this, family that prays together, stays together. I believe that. And my family is one, I would say, above and beyond, way beyond and above the call of duty. From the oldest to the youngest, Pud would come over. I'd see Pud. Michelle would bring Pud coming through the door. I said, Pud, come there. And I was glad to see her there because she was there in support. And I thought, boy, was I this good to the family? Did they love me or did they love Barbara? But I didn't know that Barbara had such a chemistry with the girls as I've had. Danielle, or Jack's daughter, was another person that was a part of the family that you don't see her that much. But Danielle, when we would go to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, I'd take the girls down there every year, every other year, and I decided to stop taking them because they were so expensive. I told Barbara, I said, we've been down to Gatlinburg 3 days and spent $2,000 already. I said, these girls got to go home. But we'd have a lot of fun. But, you know, I just love my family, and I will always love and always cherish. So if someone have the day tomorrow, I know that they would take care of each other. We may not always agree, and which we don't, We have our differences, but we still love each other. It doesn't change a thing.
Amen.
It doesn't change a thing. So, I'm through.
I bet y'all thought we got along all the time, always. You didn't think that? Okay. But I do, Reggie, I got one question. How is it he got a car and we couldn't get the moped?
Man, I'm trying to tell you.
Well, see, both of you guys are much older than Randy was about 6 years younger than you all, so he was the baby. And Reggie resented the fact that Randy was the baby when he came in the world. Randy always talked, and Reggie was always ready to go to war. Reggie picked Randy up off the back of our back, but had him up in the air when he threw him across the back.
There's some things
And Randy,
y'all
instead of
shouldn't
Randy
tell.
hollering, Randy said, "Go ahead and throw me down, throw me down, go ahead and throw me down." And Tony said, "Daddy, Reggie getting ready to throw Randy off the back." And I said, "Reggie, put him down." And I looked around again. Reggie still had him up in the air, throw him down. Tony said, "Daddy, Reggie ain't put him down, he getting ready to throw him down." I said, "Reggie, I think you would rather take a piece of sandpaper and sandpaper a line on the telephone booth and to throw that boy down." So I said, "If you throw him down, you got to deal with me." Reggie started crying, he put him down. I said, he hated that for and him and Randy been going at it ever since, but they still love each other. They argue, but they still love each other.
Is there a statute of limitation here?
I'm the limitation.
Because I hope there ain't no police officers out there looking. They be ready to lock me up before we leave out this service. Y'all got to be careful letting some folks tell things, man. Y'all make sure ain't nobody out there looking but me.
But you know, our
Stream it
parents,
live.
I know.
our parents have always been very, very giving. I do want to say when Reggie and I were younger, that sometimes Mama would take us to McDonald's, and she wouldn't get nothing. And I really did not realize why she didn't get anything until I became an adult, because you know, back then we had, I guess our metabolisms were a little bit different than what they are now.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I can say for myself.
I just can't burn it off like I used to.
Okay. You know, I didn't think anything of getting like two Big Macs, you know, a large order of fries, a shake, and two turnovers. You know, and he might get the exact same thing. So that was pretty hefty. That'd be a pretty hefty bill,
Yeah.
and we didn't think nothing of it. But while I'm thinking about it, we never got to go to Gatlinburg, did we?
No, we didn't get on that trip. We didn't get that trip.
We
either.
could have spent your money as good as they could have like that.
No.
But you guys wasn't the girls. The girls always was compassionate and real sweet. They was real, you know, it was good.
I mean,
You guys went, before you went to Gatlinburg, you used to go to Chicago every year to the museum, and then when I took you to Pennsylvania,
Yeah, but
the man had five or 10 kids in there talking. I mean, that asked questions. And it wasn't but one person that started talking. After the meeting was over, we was ready to go. Guess who had to raise up their hand and had a question?
yeah, that's true. That's
I
true.
thought, well, all these kids up here, why you got to be the only one? I said, Barbara, what's wrong with you? It was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and he had to raise up his hand. I got a question.
Oh, God. That's right. You wasn't there. No, you was a little bit young.
But but again, what are some of the most memorable things? Because I've got a lot of memorable things. 'Cause like I said, I was there from the beginning, very beginning.
Huh?
Yeah, I saw all y'all. I saw y'all two come home. That's all I'm saying. I was there when y'all got there. That's all I'm trying to say. But what are some of the memorable things that you
Go
guys,
ahead and talk to him.
when you think about Mama?
Nah, if I get to
See, they arguing again.
Yeah.
The most memorable, I would think it was the day that changed their lives forever, and them having to, you know, it was good to have you to come along, and then they decided they needed an excuse for him not to go to back to the service, and you came along and waited 7 years and said, this just ain't working. And so here I came along, and when you get the best, ain't nothing else to do thereafter. So March 17th, 1969 was the best day of their lives. And I remember that day looking up and said, "Hello, Mama."
You know, now see, I've always teased Mama. I said, Mama, after you got it right the first time, why'd you keep on going?
That's what happened. She didn't
Because
get
she
it right.
figured it out. She figured, well, now, you know what, when we look at it, she figured it out. That wasn't right. She did it right the second time. And then, you know, because if you look at the time, there's a long time, it's like 7 years between him and I. They had it, they figured it, they had it going on for 7 years because they got
Number,
they
you
got
said
the right
number
deal the
perfection.
second
But
time.
let me say
They was
this.
just hoping that was right.
Let me say this. You know, it's kind of funny that there's a lot of people in our family got the same name. A lot of Michaels, a lot of Charles, and I want to say
A
this.
couple of Randys.
You got away with a
We
lot
got
of
a lot of
stuff
Randys.
because his name was Charles. The principal would call and say, you had got in trouble. Instead of, he say, we want to talk to Mr. Charles Shepard. He'd answer the phone and defend for you, and I found out 2 years later, he'd been telling him, and answering my calls for you to keep you out of trouble. And afterwards, then I found out about it. So, you know, I never could understand that for a long time. Why is it that the principal was talking, he was thinking he was talking to me, he was talking to Charles, but he was talking to the wrong Charles. And somebody called the house the other day and
The
wanted to
Lord
talk to
knew.
him. Well, he called somebody wanted to talk to Charles. I said, which Charles? He said, well, which one are you? I said, which one did you call? He said, well, which one are you? I said, I know who I am. I said, do you know who you are?
I think that day there was 3 Charleses in the house that
Yeah,
day.
Charles was over
Lady,
that
you-
house.
And then we had Charlotte to come in, so you said something about it's both Charles in here. Then I got to thinking, I said, well, my mother's name was Charlie. So I said, if we put all the Charles in there, we'd be in big trouble. Then we started thinking about the Micahs. We got Michael Wellington Jr., we got Michael Shepard II.
Yeah.
What is
Michael
it?
Gervais Shepard.
Michael Gervais.
Gervais Michael.
Yeah. And then we got Randall's. We got Randy,
Michael.
Randall.
Randy with an eye, Randall.
So we got a bunch of Charleses, a bunch of Michaels, and a bunch of Randys.
Yeah.
But we only got
One
we
boy.
only got one Andrea, we got one Rachel, we got one Rocky, but we got
One
another
Chris.
son.
You
We
got
got
one-
one Chris, one
And
Adam.
One Adam.
Went at him.
Okay. But we got
And then
Charlotte's Charlotte.
Then you got two
Yeah,
Tonys.
okay.
and then they got 2 Tonys, and then they got
We got a whole heap of
So usually
Yeah,
when we
we
get
got a
something
whole-
good, we stick with it.
we got a whole lot.
Yeah.
We got a lot of names to come around.
Now, a lot of people did not know that. A lot of people have just seen one side of Mama, which was
Right.
quiet. Most of the time, didn't say a whole lot. But my mother was funny. She was.
Very.
She could tell jokes,
Yeah.
and well, sometimes the joke itself wasn't that funny.
She was.
It was just watching her trying to tell it that would crack people up. But her and Mother Maynard together, they were like kind of like sisters because they look a whole lot alike if you look at them. And they would get up and they would try to tell jokes back and forth. It would just crack you up just watching them tell jokes. And I do remember that for a lot of the things when it came to the grandkids, she was always inquiring
Oh boy.
about them.
Yeah, she was crazy about this girl. I mean, I didn't know she had the chemistry with the girls. Rachel used to always tell her, and this is what used to get me. I didn't know she told the girls, you girls are gonna sleep your life away. Get up out of the bed. Andrew used to tell me about that. Andrew and Rachel used to say that. I didn't understand. I said, well, when did she used to tell y'all to get up out of the bed, you're gonna sleep your life away? Then one day, when I found out about it, Barbara wouldn't eat one day, so Rachel came in the house. I said, Barbara, Rachel coming in the house, you better start to eat. She said, well, what's she gonna do? So Rachel comes and said, Granny, you got to eat. That's what you told us when we was little kids. I thought, well, when did this happen? So Rachel came in one day, she said, Granny, if you don't eat your food, I'm gonna whoop your butt. I'm gonna whoop your butt. I said, what? She said, that's what you used to tell us. So I said, Barbara, Rachel is getting ready to come in the house. She said, oh, my other mother. So I mean, we had it was a lot of humor. You always seen Sister Shepherd as quiet and very, now Deacon Ernie had a lot of deal with she took her at Guiding Light Church. When she'd come to church on a Sunday, she made sure she ate. She made sure that she would take the medicine, because Barbara couldn't take the medicine until after she got to church. But one day she came home, and what got me more than anything else, when little Mike came around that corner, I said, Barbara, guess who's here? She said, who? I said, little Mike and Big Mike. She said, did I eat enough food? I said, I said, Mike, Big Mike gonna find out if you did. Big Mike would come in and say, Granny, what's going on here? She started to grin and laugh, and I said, he's on somebody can do anything with you. I said, yeah, till Rachel come. I said, when Rachel come, I said, I'm gonna tell her, well, Rachel would exercise Barbara so hard that I felt sorry for her one day. And Rachel told her, Granny, you can get your legs up. Put your legs, get up. I said, Rachel, please. But they went through that process, and it was a lot of fun. Adam would come in there in the evening time and have his shake. You know, Adam always smiling. He'd bring a smile. Barbara said, what is that? He said, go ahead and drink it, Granny, you'll like it. So she started drinking. She said, that's pretty good. She said, that's pretty good. I said, you gonna drink it all? She said, no. I said, well, I'll tell Mike that you didn't drink it. She said, well, why don't you drink it for me and tell him that you didn't drink it? But we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. She has been a lot of fun. She is still, in my way of thinking, fun.
Yeah. And you know, she would allow some things with the grandkids that I don't ever remember us being allowed. I came in one day and her and Rachel in the same bed. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about the hospital bed. And I'm like, how y'all fitting in there? You know? And I mean, for us, you know, for us to be in bed with them, I don't think that ever happened. Were you ever? Did you? I don't think, Reggie, did you ever sleep with Mom and Daddy?
No, but I did.
Yeah,
I did fall asleep
down
a couple of
Birmingham
times. We
one
were
time.
watching TV late at night, and he hadn't got home, and we watching TV in the room, and I'm on top of the bed sleeping, and then fell asleep, and he comes home like, where am I supposed to sleep?
Yeah, I remember we was down in Birmingham one time, and we had to stay at a motel, but they didn't have no more motel rooms, so I think that all of us was down there. We didn't have 2 rooms and 2 beds. So I said, Barbara, where these boys gonna stay? Where they think gonna stay? I said, Reggie, where he think he'll stay? Reggie said, I'm gonna stay in the bed with my mom and my daddy. I thought, wow. But the thing that got me, one night I was in the hospital, when I went to the hospital, before I had surgery, Rachel come, that's one thing I always say about Rachel and Andrea. If those 2 knew anything where I was, they gonna get there. What got me one night, I was in the hospital, and the nurse said, you got a visitor. I said, 9 o'clock? She said, yeah. Who but Rachel coming in the hospital bringing me something to eat? I think a sandwich or something. And I said, Rachel, I said, what are you doing up here? She just got off work, so she stopped by there to see Papa. She said, Papa, can you move over some? I said, move over where? She said, I got to lay down. I said, no, you ain't gonna lay down in here. Well, she got in the bed with Barbara one day, in this hospital bed. She said, Granny, move over. She said, I got to lay down, I'm tired. Barbara said, girl, this bed ain't big enough for me and you both. Rachel said, well, move over on your side. But that's the way Rachel is. Rachel would come and jump in the bed anytime. So these was times that, like I say, Brandy, let me tell you this. One night I came home, Randy laying up in bed, him and Barbara laying up there. I said, all you need to do is put a wig on your head. I couldn't tell who it was. She's looking like her. But I said, boy, why don't you go back and get in your bed? It was nothing for them to come jump in the bed with me and their mother. So I guess Rachel got it honest. I mean, you know, like I can be laying, I remember the first night I got sick at home, I had fallen out. And somebody had called and I called and told Rachel, I said, Rachel, you need to get here. I said, I can't make it. She said, I'm on the way, Papa. I don't know how Rachel got down there so quick. She had on a bathrobe. I said, girl.
I remember that.
I said, girl. Rachel came in there and she said, you go on upstairs and get in the bed. She said, I got this. But that was one of the times that I was trying to get Barbara up. I had fell down, she had fallen down, the water had fell out, everything running the floor. Rachel come up and said, "What is going on? I'm calling Andrea," or something to that effect. Next thing I know, I think somebody said something, said they called Andrea. Next thing I know, they said, "Andrea is on the way." I said, "What?" And when I got together the next morning, Andrea was here. I said, "I don't know how that girl drive that fast up here, but she like her husband. They both drive like Bill Vukovich and Janet, but they was getting here." So anytime that I needed, if you call Andrea, she gonna call Charlotte. Charlotte gonna wire up Rachel. Rachel gonna wire up Raquel. And when it all was said and done, and then when they get through, they wire up Charles William. Charles William wire up Adam. And the next thing I know, all of my grandkids had collided at the house at one time. I said, "Well, I don't have to worry about nothing." Charles Williams said, every time I had to go to the doctor, he's there to take me. And I said, well, the doctor said, "Well, who should I give this information to?" I said, "Give it to him." I said, "Because I ain't going to remember no way." So he remembered my appointments and all this stuff. And I was just so inflated to know that, we had done some in life that our kids could relate to, and they carried it on. So I can feel at ease. I won't say a lot more than what I've said, because there's some things that I would like to say at a homeborn service, but I feel very good, very relieved, and I just thank God for the family that He's given us. If I had to draw it up or make it over, I don't think I would ask for a different family. All of mine, like I said, all of my family has been just fantastic, from the smallest to the oldest, or the oldest to the youngest, or the smallest to the biggest. But it's been just a good ride.
So again, this is what family is supposed to be and supposed to be about. You don't always have to be up on each other all the time. You don't always have to always agree on everything, and you're not going to agree on everything, and that's just part of it. I do remember when we were smaller, Mama worked late, and one of the things that she did do, we would watch the midnight special.
Yeah.
With Wolfman Jack.
Wolfman Jack.
And she would bring home treats for us to eat late at night. You missed out on that, I think. You was too young.
He didn't get all that.
He didn't get all that. So there were some things that we got that he didn't, but there's a lot of stuff he got that we didn't. But I am grateful. People ask a lot of times about us doing music, and all of it did not come from my mother's side of the family, but a lot of it came from my mother. One of the first songs that I learned to play was "Brighter Day Ahead," and she taught me how to play that. And then your mother was a musician.
Yeah, she was a musician. My mother was a musician. In fact, down back in the day in Selma, she was leading along with Mattie Moss Clark. Mattie Moss Clark's mother lived down the street from us, so Mattie Moss lived about 2 doors from where we lived. They were the only 2 musicians down at that time before Mattie Moss became Mattie Moss Clark. They were the only 2 musicians in Selma, because Selma was a small city, but all of her brothers was musicians. James Moss, Charles Moss, Edward Moss, all those Moss brothers, and the brother they got now. But my mother was the first musician that I heard. Mattie Moss Clark was the first that I knew of. And all of Miss Moss boys could play instrument, and it was ironic that all of my boys, all of you guys play an instrument. I tried to play, but I thought after hearing all y'all, it was enough.
It was
10 minutes.
And again, we were grateful that in our house, our house was almost like a music store. We have saxophones, guitars, and I say saxophones, guitars, trumpets, tambourines, drums, and
Still some
piano.
of those drums down the basement now, unless you move.
Yeah, guys, they go home. And organ. And so they would tolerate us playing. We played all hours of night.
Yeah.
And my parents were the first black folk. Is that the term we're using now?
That's what
Okay, we
yeah.
can use that.
Okay.
We
The
use
first
that.
blacks in the neighborhood that we lived in. And we was colored.
Yeah, well,
Okay, whatever we are.
Yeah, that's
we
what
were.
we are.
We were
Yeah.
the first in that particular neighborhood, and I think there was a concern that we were making too much noise, but we found out that the people on the
2 doors down.
2 doors down, he was a drummer,
His wife was an organist.
and his wife was an organ, and they had been listening to us, and they enjoyed our music.
And
Right.
invited us down a couple
Yeah.
of times. So yeah, it was
And,
good.
and one thing I do want to say, we're all in church, have been in church, but our parents made sure that we were in church. Now, I don't know that we have all been as successful as they were with our children, but they made sure if you were going to live in that house, you were going to church. And there wasn't no excuse about you was out late night and nothing like that. You were going to church. And since they went to
We had to
Sunday
leave
school,
up out of there somewhere.
yeah, and I think they were serious. They
Well,
was-
I can say this. I remember when you guys lived, when Jack used to come stay with us. You remember Jack used
Yeah.
to come stay with us? I got pictures of when Jack, or was it Jack had, no, it was Jack, Catherine, Barbara, you and Reggie. And Randy was a baby because I think Catherine had Randy up in her arm. Jack was standing next to you, you were standing next to Reggie, I was about that tall. And I was looking at the pictures last night. I thought, boy, we've been going to church a long time. But it's one thing I did like about the family structure was this. It was nobody that was a member of our family. If you were older than the next person, they were authorized to correct you if you was wrong. I don't care who it was. There's no such thing that you don't do this or that to my child. If you was a shepherd or in the shepherd family, anybody was authorized to tan your hide if they had to.
Do what they had to do.
I never forget Randy got kind of boasted with Joanna one time. Well, I don't know how, she told me 2 weeks later, she said, I saw Randy and he said such a thing. I said, what? I said, Joe, why didn't you knock him down then? She said, well, he apologized. I said, Joe, that don't happen here. I said, it wouldn't happen to us. She said, but don't say nothing about it. That was 2 weeks ago.
Baby.
I waited 2 weeks from the time she told me. I said, Randy, did Joanna have to say something to you about something? Oh, Daddy, what? I said, did she have to say something to you about something? Yeah. I said, well, that was 2 weeks ago. I'm going to give you 2 weeks to remember by it. So I took the 2-inch cow hide and I let him remember for 2 weeks. So, it's a thing like this. If you was out of line and you was a shepherd in any form, any person that had a little bit more knowledge than you, a little bit older than you, they were given the permission to do what they're supposed to do. This is what we did as a family. A generation look out for a generation. And it is not that you whipped them because you didn't like them. You whipped them because we expect the best out of you. We knew you could do better, and this is what we did. We still do that, as far as I know. If I have anything to do with it, because I tell my kids and I tell my grandchildren, and I used to tell Lillian and Joanna, if Randy, Reggie, or Tony get out of line, beat them and then send them to me and I'll re-beat them. So, this is just the way it is. But I think this is one of the reasons I never had to go downtown with them, because they knew if they got out of line, somebody in their family was going to chastise you and let you know.
That's right.
This is not the way we do it.
Yeah.
This is the way, so far I can feel good about that.
As we get ready to close out, you can go ahead and take that mic stand down there to the piano. You can close us out with a song.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
That's why it's wireless.
I just want to share with you one of the things that my mother was noted for, and she would fix something called a pistachio salad. Oh, y'all hear y'all say, ooh, yeah. She would fix a pistachio salad and a cherry cheesecake that was made with Eagle brand milk.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
all the grandkids got one for their birthday.
the grandkids, if they requested one, got one for their birthday. I don't know why I made the mistake of not requesting one.
You just thought you was getting one, but you wasn't in that class, man. I'm just saying.
But if you told Mama that you wanted something like that, she would make sure that you had it. When it came time to go school shopping, she would take us and we would go school shopping, And she always wanted to make sure that you had what you needed. And I can always remember, and I always will remember how sacrificing she was, self-sacrificing. Even as an adult, Mama would want to get you stuff for your birthday, and I'd say, Mama, you don't have to get me anything. Well, I want to get you a little something. I said, Mama, I can buy what I want. But she was still want to get. I got to get the kids. I said, Mama, you don't have to get them anything. But she would still make sure that she got them something. She remembered their. Sometimes she remembered their birthdays more than I did. I tell her, so after you got 5 kids, it's kind of rough keeping all things in order. But we want to share some of the heritage or legacy that she left behind. Randy probably is the most accomplished of us at the keyboard. And he got Mama's playing ability and stole part of Daddy's voice, so we're going to let him close us out in a song.
He's so good that
He should give us something for all the trouble that he's caused, right?
We don't.
he better than everybody.
He's
All right,
better
so-
than everybody. We didn't get the cut with him. No.
Okay, all right. So Pastor Randall Shepherd is going to bless us as we give God praise for a life well lived. And we thank God for Barbara Rosemary New Shepherd.
All right.
I just come to praise the Lord.
One of Mama's favorite songs to sing.
I just come to praise the Lord. I just come to praise His holy name. I just come to praise the Lord. Yeah. I just come to lift Him up. I just come to lift Him up. Yeah. I just come to praise His holy name. I just come to praise the Lord. Came into my life that very special day. Came to show me a better way. He said he'd never depart. That's why I can say I just come to praise the Lord. Oh, I just come to praise the Lord. I just come to praise the Lord. I just come to praise His holy name. I just come to praise the Lord. Oh, I just come to praise the Lord. I just come to praise the Lord.
Come on, let's give the Lord a hand. Again, this is the day that the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. I want to leave you with this one last thing that my grandson told me. I was having a very bad day. And he said, Gramps, I know your heart is hurting. He said, but God's going to help you. And I want you to know that in the time of trouble, God will help you. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Amen. Good job, man. Good job. Very good job. Turn the cameras off.
We invite you to stay with us for our 11 o'clock service. Pastor Randall Shepherd is going to be delivering the message, and I think we might be able to get a song, I'm not sure, out of Deacon Michael Shepherd. We shall see. Amen. All right. God bless you. Thank you so much.
They say you're going to get somebody.